Throughout the years of Yu-Gi-Oh, there has always been an established meta. And that meta goes on to influence what people typically play at the larger events. But what if you took a list of every deck from the September 2011 meta, randomized them, and put them into their own single elimination bracket tournament, allowing for exactly one of every different type of deck to be represented? In this series, Joe and I will be playing out a full single elimination bracket tournament. Each week, Joe and I will be playing a different deck, and whatever deck wins will move on, and whatever deck loses will be eliminated. The goal of this series is to see if the traditional meta will reign supreme, or if a new champion will be crowned. Be prepared for jank winning, meta losing, and for the format as we know it to be turned upside down. Welcome to the Tournament of Tournaments.
All right, today we are going back to one of my favorite decks of all time, Hero Beat, a deck that, at least from the main deck, is almost identical to the deck that I would end up playing at YCS Long Beach a decade ago at this point. Really, the only difference for that particular deck list versus this one is the inclusion of double Torrential Tribute, which isn't legal during Tengu Plant format, but we're going to have a main deck that's almost identical to that deck. A side deck that is somewhat similar. It has Maxi for different purposes. That has Snow Man Eater, which is a card I really like when you're playing against mirror matches and some of these slower decks that might have Thunder King. Snow Man Eater's always lined up really well against those. But then a few tweaks. I've put Leeching the Light in the side deck. I'm testing it out. I never played Leeching the Light in Heroes, but I can imagine it being okay against some of the Agent style decks where you actually want to go over the top with big attack. So we're trying it out. We'll see how that ends up turning out. I put Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors in the side deck because Dark World is a pretty difficult matchup. I put Super Poly in the side deck, which is a little bit weird in the sense that Super Poly typically lines up well against decks like Dino Rabbit, which aren't out yet. But I still think it's a powerful enough card, particularly with the variety of extra deck monsters. We don't quite have all of them. We don't have a dark target, but we do have basically everything else. So you do have a wide array of targets with Super Poly. It also can be used offensively in this deck where you attack, you bait out a deep prison, you activate it, you go over the top, or you do attack, and then you in the aftermath of attacking Super Poly. There are a lot of ways of utilizing it beyond just being defensive. Being defensive is great. You're never really going to clear a whole field with it. You can utilize one of your heroes plus one of their monsters, but typically if you can bait something out like a Bottomless, a Mirror Force, one of those type of cards, you can generally get some pretty good advantage off Super Poly. So I did include it in the side deck. We'll see how it lines up with the current format, but nevertheless, we're going to take a look at a Hero Beat deck that is very reminiscent to the one that I would end up playing at YCS Long Beach the year after Tengu Plant format.
All right, today we are playing dragons, and it's actually referred to as disaster dragons. I don't know why, but that's what it's called. Maybe because the deck is a disaster. I don't know. I think this deck has quite a bit of potential. I think it definitely saw a bit more success in the likes of like Edison and some of those earlier formats. But honestly, with 3 Red MD and Future Fusion, like you can make a pretty good case for this deck to be a viable strategy. One card I really hope I get to resolve today is Yamada Dragon. This card basically says it's a spirit monster, so it turns to the hand during the end phase. But when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. That's why you run back row. And we also are playing off of Totem Dragon. And Totem Dragon basically says it can be treated as 2 tributes for a tribute of a dragon. And during your standby phase, if you only have dragons in your grave, you can special summon it. So it works like a pseudo Treeborn Frog, but after you use its effect to bring itself back, it gets banished. And that's why we're kind of maxing out on 3 copies. You basically just try to use Mass Dragon to get these guys out. Or even go for Delta Flyer or Exploder Dragon just to kind of tutor out whatever you need. Delta Flyer is a level modulating dragon tuner, so it opens up some potential synchro plays, which is kind of nice, but for the most part you almost avoid synchro plays because outside of if you can make a dragon, because you don't actually want to have a non-dragon in your grave because that turns off your Totem Dragon. It's a really interesting deck, really interesting strategy. The fact that this can just be a 1-card tribute for Light and Darkness Dragon though is kind of nuts. And then we also I also want to talk about Quackimiro Drago. I feel like this is why this deck has so much potential in this format. I just wonder if there's like the right build that's missing. You know, I don't know if it's this one, but like Quackimiro Drago, it just feels like such a nuts card in this format because it just walls off so many decks. Like if you think about it, like most of Tengu Plant's synchro monsters they're going into are going to be level 5s, and so they're all dark, so you can't do that versus Drago. There's agents, they can't summon Hyperion, and then even like Chaos, like they can't summon like Chaos Orc or BLS. This card actually walls off a lot of plays for your opponent, so if you can get this to stick, it feels really, really strong. And you know, Dragons is really the only deck that can use it to like keep up with its like cost on the field to stay on. We opt to run Fiendish Chain over Valors because of the fact that Valor isn't you can't really play Valor because it counters the Totem Dragon. But yeah, basically you resolve Future Fusion, you're probably going to win, dumping 5 of these guys to your grave, setting it up. If not, then it's a bit more of a grind. Again, with Red Eyes Dark Twisted Metal being able to bring back something every time, there's a lot of ways where this deck can actually function quite nicely. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. One other thing is I think the side deck is a bit goofed for this build. This needs to be system down for instead of Cyber Dragon for Karakuri, because again, system down will banish the machines without actually putting a monster in your grave, unlike Cyber Dragon into Chimera. So yeah, it's not going to come up in today's match, but this is something to think about. But other than that, guys, let's just hop into those games. All right, Tournament of Tournaments, episode 28. I'm busting out the dragons, and Joe, you get to play your own brew. This is your build. I'm sure the viewers are going to be excited to see that. This is one of your infamous lists. No,
It's pretty close to it. Yeah, it's Hero Beat deck. Obviously, it's for a little bit of a different format. We're not at the point where we have to worry about Wind-Ups, Dino Rabbit, Insectors. You do have to worry about Dark World, though, in some other matchups. So it's somewhat similar, particularly in the main deck. Side deck's a little bit different, but the essence of the deck is all the same as it would have been at Long Beach.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited to see what you can do. I think, yeah, you go first. So, what, you taking paper?
Yeah, I do typically lose with the decks that I really want to win with, though, so it hasn't been a good omen. So we'll see how that goes.
That is true. I mean, I don't know how good dragons are. It's underexplored. We'll see. Oh my god.
That's a good start.
All right, draw for
Feels right.
Is there a dust shoot in my future?
No, not today.
Oh, good. Okay.
Is there a Future Fusion in mine?
I wish. Maybe. I guess we'll throw the duality down. We'll see what we get.
Could you activate Future Fusion if you hit it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, you can, because it's not special summoning the
Okay.
turn. It's only sending.
Fair.
I think I want to take this card. This is... There we go. I think I'm just gonna set a boy, set another boy and pass.
So do you have Masked Dragon that searches more Masked Dragons, or Totem Dragons, or Delta Flyers, or Exploder Dragons? Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going aggressive.
Nice. I will activate the
Sure.
effect.
Yeah.
Now, okay, this can go in defense, so I can just get another one. Is that the play? Honestly, probably.
don't really know to the extent that I'm like overly afraid of masked dragons. I don't know if I should just like run through all the recruiters.
All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna. I guess we'll get the totem dragon.
Sure.
All right. I will draw. We're gonna take a big risk here, but it could pay off. I'm going to heavy storm. Okay, that's fine.
Do you want to MST or heavy storm? That keeps this from coming out. Still negates the heavy storm, but it stops this from coming out.
Yeah, it's probably worth. It's probably worth. I was debating on what I wanted to do for that, but yeah, this is just a bit awkward. Okay, well, actually, this is so. This could be spicy. You know what? We're gonna do it. I'm going to tribute to Set.
Yamato dragon? Okay.
I'm gonna pass.
You play Judgment? Yeah, I guess so. Alright, so just in case you have Judgment.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Alright, draw for turn. Oh. I accidentally, yeah, okay, that's not how I do that. Much better. Okay.
Oof.
Activate the effect to destroy back rows.
Target.
It doesn't target, so is this resolving?
Oh, fuck, it doesn't target. I guess I'll bottomless. It's pretty bad, but
Yeah, I'll destroy the other one. Okay. And do you play Gores? No. Oh, wait a minute. Did I draw for turn? Yeah.
you did. You did, because you turned off auto draw because you drew one and then you drew again.
Oh, no, I did. Okay, I did. Yeah. Okay, my hand definitely makes it such that, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Attack.
Yeah.
Set.
I need a wing beat of giant dragon here.
Oh, your deck plays that?
No.
No, it doesn't. All right.
It would if like Hieratics were out. I would definitely be running a Tefnut in this deck. I guess I'll set one and set another and pass.
Okay. Draw.
We're one future fusion away from turning this game around.
Always one future fusion away. That's what the deck's about.
Oh god, there's so much back row. Draw. Well,
But your heavy storm is in the graveyard.
yeah. I think I'm gonna pass. Take the 19. Draw. In standby, I'll declare the effect of Totem Dragon to special summon it.
Sure.
I'm going to tribute it for a Prime Material Dragon.
I accept.
Enter battle phase. Attack. Yeah. In hindsight, maybe I should have just passed, but I just feel like you have so many cards on me.
Summon this fellow.
Yeah, that fellow is fine.
Attack with this one first.
19 is fine. Is there a skill drain in my future as well? Denied.
Anything to the attack?
Nothing. In response to the attack.
Post-attack declaration step.
Yeah. Alright, that's fine. Alright, no problem, you know. playing through 5 macro is definitely not easy on a deck that does not plus at all.
All right, give this a whirl, I guess.
All I have to do is stick a beater, and there's no way I lose, right? I just need to get a red MD on field turn. Okay, you'll draw for turn. Got standby main phase, and I opened the card.
All right.
So we will reveal 5-headed dragon. I will dump Wyvern. Wyvern. Do I just dump all totem dragons? No, I'll send the prime material. And what's the best card to send here? It might just be the second totem dragon. Yeah, I think that's fine. I will then normal summon Mass Dragon and banish him for the red MD. I will use the effect to special summon back the prime material dragon. I will set a card and pass. That is fine.
Effect.
Effect is fine. Stop. All right. I will draw for turn. Okay. On standby. I'll put a thing on here. I think I will special summon the totem dragon.
Sure.
We'll go main phase. I am going to tribute summon for Yamato Dragon.
Sure.
I will. Let's use Red Eyes Darkness Metals effect to special summon back a Wyvern.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to enter battle phase, and I will attack. Nice. I'm gonna crash.
A crash?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll attack with the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I'm gonna
Prime material?
I don't want to attack with prime material, even though you could have told me you don't have a response to it.
Well, maybe I didn't.
I feel like I should play as if there is a response.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll play it out, but yeah, I can't beat the 5-headed dragon.
Yeah. Did you have anything for this?
Not really. I just have a bunch of these.
Oh shit.
I mean, like I kind of have a play, but it's such a horrible play.
Is it
Like,
normal
it's just like
summoning?
it's like normal this, Miracle Fusion, go into a guy,
Yeah,
and then attack
you have to attack the
attack the red
eyes.
MD,
Yeah.
and then I just drew Heavy Storm, so I'd actually have to activate Heavy Storm in main phase 2 and kill my Miracle Fusion and my Hero Blast just to get rid of this. And I am just...
Well, even
I have too much
then,
pride.
does Prime
I
Material
have
say
too much
monster?
pride.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I see.
I still have too much pride to like neg-8 myself.
Yeah, I see.
Because then you just have Red Eyes Wyvern and... Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's too much. The future fusion is this next win con, and we hit it. So. All right, now I have to play into 5 back row again, and that's not very fun.
I'll see what I can do.
Those are all pretty good. It's actually,
they're not bad.
It's actually like a really ideal duality because you either have something to protect your
It's got a little
infinite
everything.
back row, you have your monster if you need it, or negation. Yeah, pretty ideal.
Yeah. Everything you need.
Okay, there's the Fremunda King. Alright. Draw. Well, you know what? We'll go standby main phase. I'm gonna normal summon
fusion?
Totem Dragon.
Sure.
I'll Leeching the Light your Thunder King.
Sure.
I'm going to attack.
Take 400, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
We at least got it off the field. This Totem Dragon is vicious. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 1,500. Draw. Oh, God. I'm gonna stand by main. I'm just gonna set one and I'm gonna pass. Take the 19. If dueling book allows. There we go.
All right. I mean, this could blow up in my face, but I don't think it's MST. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That was a good call.
This one's more likely to be MST because it's not bottomless or solemn warning because it's definitely not warning because you would use it on Alias. It could be bottomless, but maybe you're afraid of Gemini Spark. So I wanted to set the card I drew, and I felt like the second one that you set was more likely to be a non-MST.
Yeah.
Because this one could still be an MST because you didn't respond to the Alias summon when you had Totem on field.
Oh, well, this is really awkward, but I think I have to special summon Totem Dragon here.
Resolves.
Main phase. I will tribute for Big Boy.
Alright, this is a blowout. Does this still blow your field up?
I don't know because I don't have a monster in grave.
Alright, yeah, you don't... Okay, that's not as much of a blowout as I thought. Okay, I thought this was like a solemn warning for 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have a target, so you don't blow it up. You can't resolve any part of it, so it's like a... It's like an X do Y effect, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I mean, I knew warning was gonna be the punish here.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Well...
I mean, we can look it up too. Let's see.
It says also special summon that monster, if any. I don't know. It's also what the card effect would have been back in the day.
Yeah, true.
This card also has the longest rulings of anything basically ever.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean though? Like it really does
Yeah.
have the most convoluted rulings ever.
Yeah, it has so much weird things to it. I mean, it's pretty sad if it does blow up my field, but also I feel like I had to go for it. Like, there's no way I don't.
No, I mean, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. My instinct is that you can't.
Yeah, that's what I would
Because
assume.
you can't target. That's what I'm going to assume too. I guess someone can correct us in the chat.
Yeah. We'll have the ruling, the degrees and rulings could put their best minds towards it. I don't know if it makes much of
Yeah.
a difference. It might, but I think it at least gives me a potential chance. Gives hope to the dragons.
Unfortunately, the word cannot appears 41 times on the wiki of Light and Darkness Dragon, so it's hard to go through every single iteration. So we're just gonna, well, we can just keep it going.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens here.
Take the 19.
Go ahead.
Draw. I will set a card and pass. That is fine.
I don't even need to draw.
We showed that Dark Prime
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see what my draw was. Oh, it was actually good. It was heavy. Well, no,
Yeah, you were afraid of the Gemini spark earlier. I
yeah,
guess.
that's why. I mean, it's just kind of a rule of thumb, right? Like, if you're going against heroes, like, I feel like it's better to play around it. And my logic is if you do have Gemini Sparks and I let the Totem Dragon die, then I can just bring it back and go for the Light and Darkness play. Because now I'm gambling that you don't have warning over the Gemini Sparks, which I felt like since I saw one on the duality, it was relatively low chance you had warning. So I was like, I felt like it might have been a better decision to try to play off getting the Light and Darkness Dragon to resolve, because all I need this to do is like burn a lot of cards for it to have any
I'll
value.
say from a hero player's perspective, if I don't have a hand, like if I've already set all my back rows, it's less game breaking to use a bottomless that gets hit by a Gemini Spark, especially if the card that I'm going to target is a Totem Dragon.
Yeah.
Because I don't in the moment have access to a monster, and then I need Hero Blast to get access to a monster.
Yeah.
It's a potential choke point.
Well, the only other thing behind it is if you resolve Gemini Spark, so let's say you do that and you have a Miracle Fusion, that also means the Miracle Fusion is live for the Shining and I get really punished. Versus if I let that
it's live
go
either way, though.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
True.
not. Because if, I guess theoretically, if Bottomless were to banish it, then it's not live. And then if I wait for the Miracle Fusion, then Bottomless banishes the Shining, which is much more value. So it's like it's just
yes and no.
Yeah.
Because there's also the universe where I just Gemini Spark after the summon resolves.
Yeah.
To guarantee the Shining goes through safely, because basically you have to sit with Bottomless without setting any other cards.
Yeah.
Because the second you put another card, then Gemini Spark has that target. It's a weird situation. Like the existence of Gemini Spark makes reactive traps really tough.
Yeah, I mean, Bottomless is like bittersweet against this deck, I think, because like it is. I think it is really good against Shining, and when you're in low monster count scenarios, it feels okay. But when you have so many cards, I'm just like, I'm always thinking about that that Gemini Spark, which is pretty crazy. But I mean, going second into this deck when you have like 9 monsters, it is not an easy feat. I mean, I had Leeching the Lights too, but I just like, again, it was another thing where like I think last turn or something I could have brought back Totem Dragon or just normaled the Totem Dragon, leechinged and attacked. But it's like if I do, like, and like, if you have D Prison or Gemini Spark, it's a 1 for 2, which is just so bad for me. And I lose the Totem Dragon, like, potentially, which is my only play. So yeah, it was awkward. I had the Red MD and the Yamada Dragon. I really was hoping I'd get to resolve this card, because when you do, it's so satisfying.
I mean, you basically kind of just did in the second game. You didn't directly, but
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't get the ability to
prompted a Book of Moon, which is good enough.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, basically with only having the single Totem Dragon turn 1, it was like I needed this Light and Darkness to resolve to have any chance of winning. So Well, that's fine. You know that's how the dragons be. We technically have a dragons deck still in the tournament, so
For sure.
which I definitely think
And you
that
drew Future Fusion.
yeah. Well, I
So we finally got to see what that looks like.
yeah, true. Future Fusion felt really impactful. Obviously, like even still in this format, like like dropping it, like it just feels like a win con. Like there's
Yeah,
so
I
much
almost
you
just
get to do.
conceded.
Yeah, which
My hand was like Miracle Fusion, Thunder King, Alias,
yeah.
and like Hero Blast. I'm like, Hero Blast is not gonna line up against these things.
Yeah, I tested a lot in the wind-up hand loop format when Chaos Dragons was like a big thing, and I just remember like I played against someone playing Chaos Dragons a lot to try to like improve the matchup, and I just remember that he anytime he turned on Future Fusion, we played it out every single time it was a loss. Like it was impossible to
Yeah.
play there. It's just so powerful to mill five dragons.
Yep.
So guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode of Permits. As a reminder, we release new episodes of this series every single Friday, so make sure you guys are subscribed to not only me, but also Joe, so you can stay up on when we release new episodes. On that, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you have a great time doing today.